Hello friends, welcome back to Block Bytes. In part 1, we covered the basics of asset tokenization, some of its use cases, and its advantages. In this part 2, we will look at 3 remaining aspects: the process of tokenization, the challenges it faces, and the current real-world asset market metrics and projects. Before understanding the tokenization process, let's quickly recap what asset tokenization brings. Asset tokenization allows illiquid assets like real estate, art, and inventory to become more liquid by enabling fractionalization, improving access to various markets, removing complexities, and providing more capital and cash flow options. Asset tokenization is an extensive narrative because of blockchain technology's advantages and the size of the entire asset market. According to the World Economic Forum, illiquid asset tokenization will be a $16 trillion industry by 2030. Imagine the amount of TVL that can be added to the different blockchains, even if a fraction of this market gets tokenized. Now let's understand the process of how assets are tokenized. Step 1, the asset is identified and the relevant stakeholders like the tokenization platform, custodian, and the agent or the asset issuer are identified. Step 2, details are drawn to understand the asset's entire life cycle. This includes questions and the legality of such an asset, the impact of any regulations, KYC, money laundering aspects, and terms of token offering, among other things. Details about the token itself are also finalized. For example, the number of tokens to be issued, whether it will be a public or an invite-only offering, etc. Step 3, list the tokens. Tokens are listed on the platform and offered to investors. This could be a subscription process, also like an IPO, where you subscribe to a minimum number of tokens or amount and get the tokens once the subscription ends. Step 4, minting and distribution. Once the subscription ends, tokens are minted on the blockchain and transferred to the investors. Step 5, the tokenization platform may also act as a custodian. For example, in all the Bitcoin and Ethereum spot ETFs, Coinbase is the custodian, meaning all the Bitcoin and Ethereum tokens will be held by Coinbase. Step 6, the token can also enjoy the advantages of a secondary market besides the primary market where it is bought and sold. Then step 7, if the asset has a fixed tenure, it must be burned at the end of its term, and the corresponding value must be credited to the investor. This is a simple step-by-step breakup of an asset's life cycle. In reality, though, each of these steps will be a very involved process on its own and out of the scope of this video. We have discussed the positive side of asset tokenization, but it faces many challenges. Let's take a look at some of these now. First, uncertain regulatory environment. Now, this is the most significant bottleneck, not just for asset tokenization, but for the crypto space itself. Regulations as they exist today are either different or non-existent in most parts of the world. Second, slow adoption. There are several hurdles in the way of adoption for asset tokenization. One is the limitations of existing blockchains. For example, public blockchains like Ethereum are not known for their transaction speeds or privacy. Although the community is working on these issues, progress has yet to be made. Private blockchains address these concerns, but have their own set of problems. They need more clarity regarding technology, tooling, and standards, which create interoperability challenges. Number three, limited business sense. Although everyone knows or believes in the advantages of asset tokenization, the reality on the ground is different. Practical problems must be solved for businesses and institutions to go all in. First, the cost benefits are not sometimes clear up front. Second, since this is a radical change, operational challenges increase as you have to run both the existing and the new system simultaneously for some time at least. Fourth, no cash settlement. Another significant issue is the need for instantaneous cash settlement. There is no cross-bank standardized solution at scale for this. Individual banks are working on it, but that is it. And stablecoins are an unregulated entity. For tokenization to work, it must provide a seamless cash settlement mechanism across banks and regions. Fifth, lack of alignment. A future without several intermediaries may not be something that the current players want. Incentives for them to move to this new tokenized world are still being determined. So there must be more to change there. There must be more to change the status quo. A survey conducted by Citi Securities Services shows that 51% consider regulatory uncertainty the most significant impediment. Other areas like risk, compliance, and lack of clarity around CBDC are also linked to regulatory uncertainty. Regulatory clarity will help bring the much needed help in this regard, but this will be a slow and grinding process. Regions or countries that get regulatory clarity quickly will also see quicker adoption of asset tokenization. Now let's switch gears and look at the RWA or real world asset market and some of the top projects in this space. According to DeFi Llama, the RWA market is the sixth most significant category of projects based on the total value locked. For some reason, DeFi Llama has a different category called RWA lending with 3 protocols in it. This Dune dashboard from 21 gives a glimpse of the different types of collateral here. As you can see, fiat collateralized stablecoins are the most prominent entity here. Other collateral types become clear if we remove stablecoins from the chart. This includes commodities, government bond, real estates, and private funds. Now let's look at where these assets are being tokenized. Here is a chart from the same dashboard showing the spread of tokenization amongst different blockchains. Ethereum is leading the way for the apparent reason of having the most considerable liquidity, followed by Stellar, a payments-focused public blockchain. Stellar recently announced that they will now work on promoting DeFi on its blockchain to give Ethereum some competition, followed by Polygon, Gnosis, and Avalanche. Finally, let's look at the main projects in this area based on their market cap. This chart from the same dashboard shows some top projects. It includes names like Ondo Finance, Centrifuge, Franklin Templeton, and others. Putting all this together, we can see that the current ecosystem of real-world assets is like this, according to Galaxy Research. Their report provides some key insights into the RWA space. For instance, non-stablecoin assets grew in on-chain value by 1.05 billion US dollars in 2023. 82% of which has come from treasuries, real estate, and private credit, which are all yield-bearing assets compared to non-yield-bearing commodities like gold, silver, and equities. The market share of yield-bearing assets has grown from 31% to 53% since January. Despite having a solid year of growth in this year, the market cap of tokenized assets is still 9.6% below its all-time high in summer of last year. You can be rest assured that the RWA space will go ballistic in the next bull run. Real-world assets or asset tokenization is no doubt a big crypto narrative. Still, it has to be seen in the proper context. RWA has more to do with bringing the crypto market closer to traditional finance rather than actual user adoption in numbers that the crypto space actually needs. Real-world asset does not help improve user adoption numbers, as it is a much more regulated space that requires several intermediaries and regulatory oversight. On top of this, it faces many challenges, as we saw earlier in the video. However, the good news is that we see growth with major trade players like Franklin Templeton and WisdomTree leading the way for other big names to follow. I hope you like this video. Do like and share, and I will see you next time with another fresh bite.